So this video is going to be about how you can maximize the sale of your business. We're going to go through 4 key topics. We're going to go how I got here, how did I sell my business, how am I able to be in Dubai, networking, attending masterminds, growing my business while it's operating and growing in the UK. See, if you'd like a similar setup, you might find some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about and say useful, so you can use them in your business and on your journey as well. I'm going to go through how I actually bought businesses to increase the value of my current business. So just a disclaimer here, guys, I'm far from a business buying expert or a business expert for that matter. I'm always learning, always picking the brains for people in front of me, but I do believe if I share my journey, it's going to help someone at the start of theirs. And then we'll go through how I sold my business. So do I regret selling my business? Because that's a question I guess asked all the time. Why did I sell and how did I structure the sale? And then we're going to go through what you can do to maximize the sale of your business. So what mindset you need to be in, what things you need to have in place in your business, understanding what you can expect. Are you building a business to sell? Do you have a profitable job? Do you understand the difference between the two and what you can expect to get maximum value when you sell your business, should you want to? So I think we should start with how I got here. So I'm currently filming, creating content in Dubai. I've got a mastermind networking event tomorrow with other M&A people who are also buying businesses and selling businesses. But I think what's good to know is that I've got a business in the UK which I can grow from here. I've made some sales while I'm out here today. We've got a team in the UK who are operating the business and growing the business there while I'm here. So how did I get to that point? Well, it started in 2019 when I qualified as an accountant. In 2020, I then set up my own business in the property space. And from 2020 to 2024, I'd grown that business to pretty much as far as I wanted to in terms of, my capabilities at the time. And the reason I did sell was because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I'd acquired 2 businesses in that 3-year period. So we'd seen a lot of growth. So it's probably worth touching on how did I buy the businesses? How did I find them? How did I structure them? How did I negotiate it and what that looked like after? So the first business that I acquired was a company called Growth Lettings. Now you might know Harvey Growth Properties from online. He is big on Instagram and he was a previous business partner of mine when we had the lettings business. So we met each other pretty much on social media, and that's because I was posting and because he was posting. We knew each other from that, and we knew each other were in the same space. So when we started speaking, it was just about business and, what he was doing well, what I was doing well, challenges he was having and I were having. So we never started meeting up and speaking to discuss the sale of his business. That's what it progressed into. But what a key takeaway that is that if he wasn't online and I wasn't posting online, that opportunity would never have come. And to get that first acquisition under my belt was absolutely brilliant. So how I structured it, because Harvey was really motivated to sell it. He had a business, a coaching business that he wanted to focus on, while I was very much wanting to grow the lettings business. So what we done was we structured a no money down deal where I would pay him out of his business's turnover for 36 months. And at that time, what that meant was I doubled the size of my business, doubled the customer, doubled the portfolio, doubled the value, doubled the turnover, doubled everything, because it was a like-for-like business. So it doubled overnight, and I was able to structure it out of the revenue that he was folding into my business. So it was pretty much a no money down deal. A couple of things that I learned from that acquisition is I got rid of the staff in Harvey's business because I thought we could absorb it in my business. Now that was the wrong move. I should have kept hold of the staff and the expertise for longer than I did. So that's a very important lesson there, is probably keep hold of the staff. Although the profitability isn't going to look as good when you calculate the numbers, how effective the handover is going to be and how smooth things are going to operate once you now own that business is going to be a lot better, and you'll have a lot less headache. The second acquisition, I was actively looking for an acquisition at that point, because what I've noticed about myself really is that the thing that I like doing most is growing and pushing myself and leveling up and evolving, right? And what better way to do that than buying a business, because you can't see that level of growth just acquiring one customer at a time. And that's why I'm really focusing on this space going forward now, because I believe it's the best way to build wealth, to build cash flow, to build business, everything. So that's a separate thing. So I was actively looking for my second second acquisition. I went online, Googled businesses for sale near me, and I'd seen one that was in the same space as me. So I inquired about the business, should I say, and yeah, finally got speaking to the seller via a broker, got to understand the business. I made them an offer which they rejected, and I didn't hear anything from them till about 12 months. Now, the original business that I made an offer on, it wasn't the same. I think she'd sold some of the stuff off because they had a portfolio in the northeast and in the northwest. I believe they sold some of the northwest one off, so not like we could just revisit my original offer. It was a totally different structure, and she was a lot more motivated then. So I had to be creative. I didn't really want to put any of my own money in again, although I did front up some money this time. And what I did was I paid her per landlord. So she gave us, say, 100 landlords, 100 clients, which I paid her an amount for. But what I did cleverly was the landlords that come over to us, I charged them the same amount as what I was paying her, if that makes sense. So I was paying her £150 per landlord, and I would sign the landlord up at £150. So the net effect of that was zero. However, what that actually meant for us was we had 100 extra landlords, 100 extra customers, 100 extra management contracts, which we were receiving revenue from. And again, that doubled us in size pretty much. And that second acquisition, I added probably 6 figures of value onto our business's value, onto our balance sheet, onto our contract size. So I think the key takeaways there really are 2 things, actively look for what it is that you want to achieve, take action, make offers, but also stick to your offer as well. I could have quite easily went back and increased the offer, but ultimately, it just didn't work at what she wanted the first time around, and it actually worked out a lot better for us, even though we had to wait 12 months. I got it for a fraction of the price that I originally offered, which was a lot better. So if things are going great, why did you sell? Well, things were going great in one aspect of the business, but in the other aspect of the business, it was really, really tough. Operationally, it was so hard. I was hiring staff, managing cash flow, doing all of the bits that I didn't really enjoy. But the main difficulty was the managing of staff. Hiring is a skill in itself, it is really difficult. On one hand, things were going great because the business was doubling and then doubling in size again, and we were seeing amazing growth. But what I had was a really difficult operation which needed to facilitate all this growth, and at that time, I didn't have the skill set, didn't have the mindset to really get a handle on the operations. What I wanted to do was just keep on growing and growing and growing and growing. And when I looked around at the industry and the opportunity, I felt like I'd just taken the business as far as I could and I wanted to. And it was worth, some money at the time because we'd bought businesses and we folded them in. So, I thought, why not cash out, take the money off the table. It's been a good journey. I'd learned a hell of a lot, built up some great connections, and ultimately, sell, cash out, make sure the clients looked after, and then I would then focus on the next level of my business journey. Ultimately, that's what I'm doing now. And so do I regret selling? No, I absolutely not. But you do get seller's remorse. You think, what if I just stick at it? Could I? Because I achieved like a multi-6-figure exit, right? I don't think I would say the exact figures, but I could. Thoughts come into your head and say, if you stuck out for another year, 2, 3, 4, you might have achieved a multi-7-figure exit, right? Naturally, you get seller's remorse, so you'll probably get the same as well. Especially when it's such an emotional thing, right? I'd started the business from my parents' bedroom, and then by doing what I'm doing, that business facilitated me moving out, buying a house, traveling with my partner and stuff like that. It was an emotional thing, right? So, but anyway, that is what it is. So the reason I sold is because it was really difficult operationally, but I really liked the business, the growth element of it, and that's really what I focus on now. And I think that leads nicely into how my current business is structured. So how my current business is structured is I focus purely on the on the growth of the business. I have a team in the UK which handles the day-to-day operations. My role is very strategic. It's all about, bringing the customers in and thinking of how the business can grow. Now, while I've been out here in Dubai, I've managed to do a sale which ultimately grows the business, and then the team in the UK do the paperwork and the administration and the operations and stuff like that. So that's how it's currently structured, which suits my strengths and my lifestyle and ambition perfectly. And because all of that is taken care of, the paperwork, the administration, the phone calls, the keeping in touch, the client care, it allows me to focus on what I want to do going forward, which is be a deal maker, right, and buy businesses. And that is ultimately why I'm in Dubai tomorrow. So I've joined a mastermind and we are heading out to the Royal Meridian, which is actually just behind me. we are doing a mastermind session, so I'm going to get around other deal makers in the M&A space. I'm going to run through some offers that I've made and how I've structured them on some businesses that I've been looking at, talk through the sort of rejection, counter offers, and the feedback that I've got from the sellers and the brokers. And I'm just going to be really immersing myself with people who are further ahead of me in that game, which is really exciting. But what you've got to do to really maximize your business is you've got to think differently. You can't think like a business operator, because if you are operating your business, the person who buys it from you is ultimately buying a job, and that doesn't really make sense. That's going to discount the value of your business massively. So if you can replace yourself within your business through systems, processes, KPIs. So when I joined the business that I'm involved with now, so I'm a minority shareholder in that business, but what we first implemented when I joined was a set of KPI report. And what that means is on a weekly basis, I can see how the business is running and performing. I don't need to be there. I don't need to be the one making phone calls or doing the day-to-day, but I can see, how many calls have been made, how many sales have been made, are we being efficient, are we being productive? And that's ultimately what buyers are going to look for as well. So it's going through that journey of growing and building and ultimately selling as well, to put myself in the seller's shoes to what to look for in a good business to get maximum value, if that makes sense. So yeah, you've got to really think about replacing yourself as the operator. You've got to think about getting all of the processes documented, and you've got to get reporting in place for KPIs as well on the key areas of your business, which really moves the needle. If you'd like to see behind the scenes of the mastermind session that I'm going to tomorrow, there'll be a video somewhere, so please do check that out.